What's going on, Meeple Town? Are you supposed to? You're supposed to finish the song, Dean.
Meepletown is?
Oh, you are. I said your name.
Did you
What's
play
my
the
name
video?
again?
Did you play the clip?
What's my name? Yeah, did you not see it? Are you not paying attention?
No.
Remember that song?
The Meepletown song?
No. What's my name again? What's my name again?
Blink 182? Is that right? No.
All right, Meeple Town, what's going on? So today, Dean and I are going to do our top 5. Yes, top 5 instead of, we usually do top 10 a lot, but this was just kind of, last minute a little bit, huh, Dean?
Could you have done
a
top 10 of this one, John?
Could what?
Could you have done a top 10 of this one?
So, yeah, I could have easily done a top 10 depending on what your definition of card drafting is. So last time we did this on the podcast, you know what? In the comments, if y'all want to comment, feel free to comment on what your definition of this is. But whenever we did this on the podcast, I got booed, and I'm gonna say a game that is not on the list.
You got booed by me.
Yeah,
I booed you. I'm gonna call you out on this one. Go ahead.
You weren't even the only one who booed me
because it was a terrible pick, especially for your number one. Is that what you're talking about? Your number one pick from
what was my number one pick?
Concordia.
Okay,
Concordia for number one card drafting game.
Do you want me to read the definition of what BGG says is a card drafting game? Because here's what I look at that. What's happening?
I don't know. I went with it and just started making faces. What are you saying?
Well, this is what I think is interesting. I think we have sometimes two different, like we're going to get a little bit philosophical for just a minute before we dive into this list. Two different things. We say dice drafting is drafting from a common pool and doing those actions. But yet when we do card drafting, a lot of people are like, no, you have to pass the cards around.
I don't agree with that. I have games on my list where it's not that.
So Concordia is drafting from a common pool of cards.
No doubt. But to call it a card drafting game is a bit of a stretch.
It is one of the main mechanics.
But also it's weird because you're paying for them. Like that, I guess you are in some of these other ones too, but it does feel a little bit weird. Like you have a bunch of cards laid out, and as a mechanic in the game, you are going to be taking some of those cards after you pay for them. But there's a lot of games that do that are considered card drafting for sure, but I wouldn't say they're card drafting games.
All right.
Is that right? Meepletown, agree with me.
What up, Meeps?
Help me out.
Hey, yeah.
What day is it, by the way?
Today's Friday.
Okay.
We'll talk about something about that here in a second. But I don't disagree. That's actually why I took it off the list this time, because I wanted it to be more what I think people say pure drafting. So every time we do these lists,
why don't you do your own thing, John? You don't have to listen to them or me.
No, I just kind of, honestly, it was just because I wanted to do a different list than last time. Okay.
It really wasn't that.
I just like, you know what, I want to add it. I want to try something a little different. So I'm going to do a little bit, different, pure or whatever drafting or whatever. So we want to know y'all's list to Meeps. Like what are some of the games that you like? You type them in. If I don't show them up on the screen, it's probably because they'll show up on our list at some point in time. In this, so
I would take it as a personal attack, honestly. If he doesn't show your comment on there, there's a reason.
The reason also that we did this really pretty quick here is that we haven't been able to do any videos lately. Why, Dean?
It's snowing in Meepletown. Well, it's not at this very minute, but we've had more snow than inches. Yeah. More snow than I've seen since like 2002, 3, something like that. It's been like almost 20 years since I've seen this much snow here.
That's true. It's been a long time. I don't even know if we've ever, Dean, I don't know if I've ever seen this much snow here. And I've lived here my whole life. Like I could see, I think I've noticed like 4 or 5, but we were 5.5 to up to 6. And I'm not sure that we've ever seen quite that much, but anyways, Yod, what's going on? Hello.
No, I'm a bit older than you, John, but back in my college days, we had, what we can remember, I guess you can probably look this up on the internet, but I think we had about 6 to 8 inches that one year. It was nuts how much snow we had
in Tennessee.
For Tennessee, yeah, It was the whole year. It was like my senior year of college at MTSU. We had this huge snowball fight on campus. It was amazing.
All right, there you go, Meepletown. As we start this, because there are people that are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, "Dudes, get to the list. What's going on? And me and Dean could just chat it up all day long.
We're
But
doing top 5 snow games, right?
if you had snow recently, which a lot of the U.S. has, if you're in the U.S., let us know how many inches of snow you got. Let's just see who has the biggest snows. Dan says he's glad to see you feeling better, Dean.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that.
That was it was fun doing that list with Johnny, but it was sad that you weren't there.
That was a rough day, especially listening to the nonsense that I heard on my computer. Oh,
well, Jonathan did better than you, but
he did. Actually, I would say all 3 of you did. That was a really good thing to listen to. I enjoyed it.
Totally untrue. All right, so for our list, I think Dean, you are going to go first because my number 2 is your number 1, so that only makes sense.
That's right.
We just do them together. Is that cool with you?
Yes, and I just realized I didn't work on how I was going to do it. No, here we go. I've got them pulled up. I just forgot how to do the screen share.
All right.
Number 5.
We can do this. So your number 5, drum roll, please.
Point salad.
Point salad.
Okay, so this is why I said, John, that the drafting doesn't have to come in having cards in your hand and then drafting them, because this game doesn't do it. So I had to make an exception for my list.
Wow.
Is that okay?
So you're going to boo on mine and then say that's fine.
This is not point salad. This is puppy salad. What is this?
What's going on? Sorry, I'm saying hi to folks. I'm saying hi to the
sorry. I don't know how to get out of that. That's not it's the same. I guess somebody did like a re-implementation with puppies.
I wasn't even paying attention to what you were doing.
Point salad. So, John, you like this game, if I remember right.
Sure.
You enjoyed this one. And in this game, you have these cards that you're laying out on the table. You're going to have those vegetables like you see there. And you're going to have, on the flip side of it, you're going to have these different scoring options. So if you see like the card there that has the carrot, that has, the carrot with the this one right here, with the 5 points per veggie with veggie type with at least 3. Okay. So on the flip side of that, you're going to have a carrot. So you're going to be drafting these cards either for the vegetable, or if you draft them before they flip over, you're going to draft them as those victory points.
Part of the challenge,
if that makes sense, which is something you like. You like drafting or getting cards that give you victory point conditions, if I remember right. Sure. I feel like we had that conversation recently, but that's what this game is. It plays, a big plus for this is it plays, I think it's 2 to 6. Is that right? I have to go back there. It might just be 2 to 4.
I've got the box right here, dog.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, 2 to 6 on this one. Plays really fast, but it plays really well at 2, I think.
Wow.
Not a lot of drafting games do that. So
you have 403 BGG alerts. You are subscribed to way too many things on BGG. I just wanted to point that out.
Oh my goodness.
403. Look, now you're cutting it off. Oh, you don't want to show that's like a messy house. You're like, get it out. I got to get out of this thing.
No, I need to go check these and see what's going on here. There's all, in a video not that long ago, there was one that was like, it was like 16 or 1700. It was a lot.
Ooh,
a lot.
I do like point salad. It's really great for that. Just really light, fast. I can play this game with anybody, card drafting game. So when I'm in that scenario, I brought this one out quite a bit. So it was a real. When did that come out? 2019?
I think so.
I think that was good. That was really good. A couple quick comments. Snows all the time in Sweden. Yeah. I bet you don't like snow as much as we like snow, because we don't in Tennessee here. We don't get it all that often.
You don't see a lot of people getting as excited as we do about the snow.
All his snow melted. Look at that. It's 9 to 10 inches up in Detroit. That's real, right there.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
that's really
Lions
real.
fan, maybe? Or is this a Lions fan?
Hey, see if Dean loves Lions. He's from Michigan.
I'm from Michigan, and the Lions.
Thomas said that he just got a point salad last week, so that's really cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, he's got another comment down here. Played for the first salad in last week. We played archaeology. The same go. Archaeology is my preferred. Yeah, I haven't played archaeology in a long time. I'd like to try that again, Dean. When was the last time you played that?
Do you know what?
It's on my shelf, I think.
I don't think I considered that one. My wife and I really like that one, though. That'd probably make my top 10, maybe. I do like that one quite a bit. Archaeology is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just been such a long time. I don't remember. Yeah, I got to play that one again. All right, so my number 5 I do have almost all the boxes laying around here, so I can show the boxes, except to one of my games I don't have. So one of mine on the list. So my number 5, you have it ready, Dean?
I don't. Something's going on with my internet. Here we go.
You kidding me? I knew your internet was garbage.
All right, hold on. Where are we at here?
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and then so you can stop fumbling around. My number 5 is It's a Wonderful World. This is a pretty recent game. This was, speaking of 2019, this is a 2019 game, I think. Is it?
Yes, it is 2019. Yep.
So It's a Wonderful World is pure card drafting, as Dean would say. But I mean, you're just passing these cards around the table, and it's got some really interesting mechanics. I mean, you're collecting cubes to be able to build these buildings in your, what, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. Do you know? Do you feel thematic when you play this game at all, Dean?
Sure. As thematic as I feel playing like Seven Wonders.
Got you. Yeah. Anyway, so you're getting these cubes, you're building these things. But what's interesting though is that board in the middle. That part is very interesting as well. I mean, just trying to figure out the most efficient way to do this. But you're also scoring points at the end of the game and stuff based on potentially the cards that you have, the buildings that you've built. But I really like this part of the game here. Someone really stacked those cubes really nicely because you're actually competing against other players for whoever's producing the most cubes of those certain ones, and whoever does is going to get, these little disc tokens that can be victory points, that are victory points, or you can spend them to build certain cards and different things like that. But I really like that player interaction part of the middle, that kind of, I like that in games, Dean, where you're tug of warring back and forth. Like, man, I could build this card and I could take the lead on the black cubes, but man, if Dean builds another one, then he's going to, and maybe I should just focus on the green so I can win this one. I love those decisions in this types of game. And it was a pleasant surprise. Jonathan, who you probably saw on if you watched the last video, you saw him. He told me about this game and said, this game is great. You guys are going to really like it. And I was like, okay, I kind of wanted to play it. And I remember being very pleasantly surprised. How about you, Dean?
Yeah, I think same here, John. This is not on my list. This probably would have been number 6. I considered swapping it out for Point Salad, but I figured that you would have it on your list. So I was like, well, let's talk about a different game. But it's really fun. I like this one a lot. I will say I like it less at 2 players. I know that I feel like I'm probably in the minority in this one, but my 2-player experiences were not great in this when you and I played 2-player.
It's fine though. I mean, it wasn't bad, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. I just felt like it was. I whipped you. Like that was. That's
Dude,
not me bragging.
Again, that's it.
That is just me saying.
I wish you would
after that, like first part of the game, I was like, I don't see how John can come back on this. Just the engine that I had already built pretty early on, and that kind of spoiled it for me.
I was playing pretty stupid. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I was playing bad.
That could be. That could very well be.
Yeah. All right. All right. I heard this game is awesome. I'm irrationally annoyed with it because it's not called What a Wonderful World like the song. Hey, you ever heard the Joey Ramone's version of It's a Wonderful World? I mean, it's not as good as Louis' version, but I'm just saying it's pretty good.
I'm talking to me?
Yeah, of course I'm talking to you.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here.
I see trees of green.
Yeah, now that's the best version, no doubt. No one will ever beat that version.
That was
true. Actually pretty good.
That's really good. I practice actually daily. I wish I was kidding.
Nick says you haven't played too many card drafting games. I do enjoy. Seven Wonders may or may not be on one of ours or both of our lists at some point.
It's hard to not put it on there, though. Honestly,
Dan also says that he likes it. Yeah, I do. It's one I go back to all the time. Oh yes, love the Joey Ramone version. Yes. You got to go listen to that, Dean, if you haven't heard it. It's really great.
I may have. I'm not sure.
I used to have black hair like down here, and I wanted to be a Ramone. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Every time I think of the Ramones, I think of Tony Hawk Pro Skating.
Why was it the Ramones on that?
Yeah, like constantly playing while you played that game.
I don't remember which one then. Oh, I had Underground that I played most of the time.
PlayStation, I think, like the original PlayStation. I think that's right.
That version. Treasure Hunter. I've never played it. Have you, Dean?
Yeah, I have. It's fun. Actually, it made my short list. I think it was somewhere in that top 10, 12 games or something like that. It's fun though.
That's good.
Hey, good transition. That was Garfield that did that. That was Richard Garfield.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I'm pretty sure he did that. And he also did my number 4, which is Bunny Kingdom. How about that?
There you go.
Thanks, whoever set me up for that that transition there. All right, John, let me show you this board.
Show me the board.
Okay, this is the Bunny Kingdom. Oh, that is not the Bunny Kingdom board. What is going on there?
Someone would just like, maybe they made up their own. Do they do their own like little plastic minis?
Maybe that was like I think that was probably like the prototype version of it. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh my gosh. Here. Remember whatever he said, he's not very good at multitasking.
Here we go. Okay.
You've done very well so far, Dean.
Thanks. I'm practicing. I'm getting better. The more we do this, I think I'll be just really good, John. You'll be proud of me. Okay, here's the board. You're going to be drafting cards in this game, and all the cards are different. And there's a lot of cards in this game. A lot of the cards have these the position of the board, so like D7, showing you where you're going to put your little bunny in that space. Some of them will have the different buildings that you can put out there. I forget what they're called. Spires maybe. And some will have like endpoint conditions, kind of like point salad. That's another thing that you really like. Actually, a lot of mine have that, now that I think about it. 4 out of 5 of my games have that very thing where you can draft cards that give you in-game point conditions.
I love that mechanic.
Yeah.
Because this is what I told Dean. Like, we were having these conversations about some of these card deck building games. And I was saying that I really like sometimes they get a little not as exciting at the end, like after you've kind of built your deck and you're just kind of running it. But I really like the ones where they incorporate in-game scoring into those cards to where you're still like, yeah, I got to get those cards because I need to score more points at the end. And I love it when they do it in drafting also.
Yeah, now this one's interesting because like bunnies, I guess, your points grow like bunnies in this game because you start off in the first, I think it's two eras. I think it is. It's 2 or I'm not 2. I mean 3 or 4. I think it's 3. But you progressively get a lot more points. So the last round of this game, you're going to get a ton of points, and a lot of it's from those cards. But you're also going to get points from your fiefs, multiplied times your spires. So like if you look right here, where you've got these 3 bunnies all together, that is one fief that they have, and you're going to see how many resources are in there and multiply the different resources times the amount of spires, and that's how you're going to get points. And that's how you're going to get a lot of points, but you're also going to get a lot of points from those end game cards. So it's fun. I think you would like this one. You just haven't.
I've never played this game. So do the bunnies fight each other? That's all I need to know. Do you battle for those spots?
No, unfortunately not. No battling bunnies in this one. No holy hand grenades and nothing like that.
Dude, you're bringing up worms. Come on now. I know all about that, dude. I used to play worms like crazy. So Thomas says Bunny Kingdom is one of the last few must-have games on his BGG wish list. So there you go. It's one that I've wanted to play for a long time and just have never. I think it's like the theme that is like nothing wrong with the theme. Like I just don't like. It's made me go, yeah, I want to play that, but I'm not super stoked. But I mean, that's what I said about It's a Wonderful World. And then when I played it, I love the theme of It's a Wonderful World, but I don't know what it was about. I wasn't super excited, but then I played it and it was really, really good.
This had a lot of hype behind it a couple years ago.
Got Bunny theme, which surprised me because I don't go for that type of theme.
Yeah. I'd like. Did you like it, Dan? I don't know if you said you played it or not, but anyway, it had a lot of hype behind it a couple years ago, and then it's really died out. I haven't heard much about it, but it's fun.
Yeah, Ali plays a lot. Wish my wife enjoyed Bunny. I hate it. I really hate it when my wife doesn't like a game that I love. It's like so sad. Like I'm sitting there playing a game and she's just like, I don't like this. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like there were a couple games this year, Twantin Suyu and Takenu, that she just didn't care for. And I'm like, well, great. Now I'm never going to get to play that game again.
Twantin Suyu seems like something she would enjoy too. That was a surprise for me.
She's sometimes when the games are heavier like that, she doesn't like it the first time or two playing, and then like as she plays it more, she's like, all right, yeah, I actually do like this game. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to coerce her to play lovingly. Play one more game with me, baby, so we can do that.
Maybe I'll bring Bunny Kingdom over there.
Yeah, there you go. Mahab says Bunny Kingdom keeps being recommended, but just keep set up, and more importantly, the cleanup. Is it tough to set it up and clean it up, Dean?
Going
on, or is it not super bad?
It's kind of interesting because like with the cards, you're just shuffling them all together. So like the setup for that's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, I didn't set this up. I haven't set up. Now that I think about it, have I ever set this game up? Probably not. I don't think the setup and teardown's that bad.
Never
Right?
have I ever.
You're shuffling all the cards together, so you don't have to like separate them or anything like that. It's
You-
been a
you
minute
basically
since I've played
saying
this.
it looks worse than it actually is. Is that what you're saying? Because it looks like a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, it's a whole lot, but it's like developing throughout the game. You don't have things out there at the beginning of the game, so.
But then tearing it down is a decent amount.
Yeah, tearing down, like, I guess that would be bad because you have to separate all of those, all the little cardboard tokens, all the bunnies and stuff like that. But again, all the cards are just going to be shuffled together. So
Separate your bunnies.
separate the bunnies.
All right, that's your number 4.
That
So
is
my
correct.
number 4 is going to get some hate mail because every time someone mentions this game, I've been like, I like to watch top 10 lists and stuff because I think they're really fun. Maybe that's why we like to do it, because I think it's fun. This game is so popular that when someone says it on a list, people aren't going to like it. And, in fact, I know there are some good Meepletown people that are probably going to be like, why did you put that, John? And me and them.
Can I pause you there for a second? Can I stop it for a second? You always say like people say, and like where do you get this? Like, are you just watching a bunch of top 10s and reading the comments of all the nasty comments?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Get on Reddit sometimes.
Oh,
well, that's the worst. I can't last on Reddit very long because
no, I can't do it. I even tried to do like have a Meepletown presence on Reddit for a while, but I couldn't do it, man.
You couldn't pay me to do that. My number 4 is Terraforming Mars. This game is so popular. It is 4 overall for a reason. And I do get why people don't like the game. But I do. I really like this game. And whenever you play the drafting style, because you don't have to play drafting, but it's the only way to play it, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It really is. But when you do, the reason I put it in here, because yes, there's some other things that you're doing besides card play, and I've got a couple games like that. But I mean, the bulk of this game is get the cards and build your engine with the cards, right? The board in the middle, yeah, you can have some, you're building off of your different things and all that kind of stuff, and you can score some points. But I mean, the bulk of this game is those cards and playing those cards and building the engine and stuff. And the drafting really matters. So, yeah, I really like this. I'm intrigued. How about y'all, Meepletown, about the Terraforming Mars card game, or do you not give a rat's behind about it?
Your Ares Expedition, is that what it's called? The card game or something like that?
Yeah, I'm intrigued about it. I'm not like super excited about it, except for Dean, you watched more videos on it. Is it a shorter playtime?
That I don't know. I think so, but I don't know that for sure. I didn't watch a full playthrough. I just watched a little bit of it.
That's my one thing. Dan says that's a keeper. Yeah, like that's my one thing about that. I feel like as an old man John gets older, I feel like I'm having less patience for longer board games, or maybe my life is just kind of busier and I don't have as much time is what I felt. You know what I mean? Like I don't, and my wife just generally doesn't want to say, let's dedicate a Saturday to playing games. It's more of like, hey, we've got an hour or so, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And the games like that end up being, a 2 or 3 nighter for us, a lot of times. And that's just, that's a lot. So I'm gonna hit up a couple comments here. They all flooded in. I think we had like a little.
I was going to comment on Nick's because he said he got it on iOS and didn't play. The rules confused him. I would say, Nick, if you're trying to do it iOS on the iPhone, especially, it's really difficult. iPad is much better, but I knew the game really well before I played it on there.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, so I downloaded when it was in beta. And I was like, wow, if you've never played this game, this is going to be really confusing.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to like the app. So, yeah, you need to play and here's the thing, though, the actual physical copy. I mean, I remember getting some guys together several years ago, and this guy had his, I think, 14-year-old son at the time. He held his own. Like, I don't think Terraforming Mars is that complicated. Now, it is to be good at it. Like, to be good, it's different. But whenever you're just, because you have the card and the cards are so wonderfully worded. Do this and you do that. And so that's one of the things I really like about it. I'm pulling up a few more comments. There's no selfish shame, mostly because like playing solo and I'm kind of looking for it. So yeah. I've never played Terraforming Mars solo.
I have not either. Is it solo out of the box? Is it one to?
I don't know if it is out of the box or not. I can pull it up. I know people have. I don't even see. What am I doing? What's happening right now, Dean? Yep, it is. It is.
It is. Okay.
Yep, it is. Fine. Don't like space as a theme, so I'm not into it. Yeah, I get it. I get why people like don't like this game, or like if you like, there's a ton of cards and stuff in here too. Like you got to get through them as fast. But that's why the drafting variant's good, because you can find what cards you want a whole lot easier than just random draw kind of luck kind of things going on. So, Dan, I don't do the card versions of almost every game. The only reason that I'm intrigued by Terraforming Mars is simply because I don't get it to the table very often because it takes so long. So
yeah, you can hear our rant on that, Dan. We did a what was that episode? It was the Brussels card game. What is that? 1897 or something. We had a huge rant about card games on there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and every time I play the card game, almost every time I just want to go play the real version. We had that, right? My brain is racking that right now, trying to think if I still agree with that. I mean, I do still agree with that, but if there's anything that slipped in that I've tried, oh yeah, that's pretty good.
There's usually Brussels, the card game, is a really good game. It's a lot of fun. It's just, why would I play it?
Play this because I've kept this one and not gotten rid of it because it's faster, and I can take this somewhere. Like I can throw it in my backpack. Like just to have a fun card game that I've got in my backpack. This is actually a solid game. It's nothing crazy. I'm not like crazy about it, but I like it pretty well. Yeah. So there you go. Oh yeah, he's the clever smart says, unless it's Clemens Franz art, then maybe. Yeah, if Franz does a space game, then you will like it. Because I will too.
I don't think he's done one. Hey, Clever Swine, play Underwater Cities. You probably have, but that is, if you don't like the space theme from Terraforming Mars, I would say go Underwater Cities. That has some similarities for sure.
Shout out from Romania. What's going on?
Hey, Jonas, I've been to Romania. I spent a summer in Bacău.
You did. That's right. You told me that.
Yeah. Not a lot of people in Tennessee say that, I think.
It's really awesome. I'd love to go there.
All right,
Dean, what's
you ready for mine?
3?
Do I have it pulled up? All right. This is the best named game on the list. I love cats, John.
You don't really love cats.
No, I don't. But this is a clever name. Isle of Cats. Somebody sitting around saying, I love cats. Hey, that sounds like Isle of Cats. Right? Am I right? Isle of Cats is actually fairly similar to Bunny Kingdom. You've got all these cards that you're drafting, obviously.
Similar to Bunny Kingdom?
Yeah, like the cards themselves are similar because you're drafting cards and you are... Don't let that scare you though, John.
It's because there's polyominoes.
Yeah, it does not have polyominoes, but don't...
That's what you would say to me.
That is true. The cards themselves are similar because you are getting these cards that you are going to be doing different things with them. Like you draft these cards and you'll get some that will allow you to get these little, what do you call them, cages for the cats that you're capturing. Some that will have in-game scoring, some that will have... There's lots of different things that you can do with the cards. Some that will give you conditions that change the game for everybody potentially, or points for everybody. There's a lot of stuff. It's hard to avoid cat pictures in this, by the way. It's just going to happen. So I'm going to throw that up there. But card drafting is the main thing in this game. Polyomino placement onto your ship is also a big part of it, but all of that
it's a big part. You're stressing the main thing just a little more than you probably should for this podcast. Oh, wait. Nope. This is a live stream.
Do you not think? You don't think it? Oh, you're saying I'm saying like I have to make sure that it's the main part of the game.
It's important, but wouldn't you not? Would you? Yeah, it probably is the most important.
It's the thing that drives the game, right?
The polyomino part is pretty darn important too, though.
It is, no doubt, it's important. But I would say that the card drafting is what really drives your actions in this game. And you notice that I didn't complain about your Terraforming Mars pick because I think again. It's a big part of the game too. If you play that variant of it.
I'm not complaining about this pick at all. I think you can pick whatever you want.
You don't love this game though.
No, I don't. Like there's some people here. Dan says that theme kind of put him off there.
Me too. And my wife.
Yeah.
We still like the game.
Says when I clicked it, went up. Literally just came in the mail for me yesterday. Shocked at how big. Yes, a giant.
It is a big box. That is true.
And the box is one of the thickest, juiciest boxes Like I remember taking the lid off, going, oh my gosh, this thing's got some box. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good looking box cover too, right? I think so. I like the cover.
We've had this conversation. It's very clean. I don't really like the font, but it is. But it's fine. Wife is a cat person. I became one. I'm not a cat person. For those of you who are cat persons, that's great. It's just not my jam. My wife is allergic to cats, so I will never own a cat. Not that I don't like cats. I love all animals, really, but it's just not. It's not my favorite, I guess.
Throw that box cover out there. You don't like the font on this? The font seems to fit the game very well.
It's fine. It's fine.
The creepy cats. Now
that's kind of yeah. You know what? If you took away the name and the cats, I would like the box because.
Do you not like puns in your board game names?
Yeah. There's been several people that says that because they don't love. I mean, cats are what's the word? Divisive. I mean, they are, right? Like sure. Most of the time you either love or hate cats, and so there you go. That's what happens when you make a game about cats, right? I do love this game, so I thought it was okay. I don't even know what I rated it. This was really getting a lot of hype. I guess I was the one who I bought this game. I don't think I got a review copy. I paid money for this game because I was pretty excited about it, but I just remember playing it and be like, meh, it's all right. But you like it. My number 3 is might surprise a few people. I haven't had this on a list of mine in a while. This is another one where it's not just entirely drafting cards, but it is, I mean, the main part of the game, and that is Notre Dame by Stefan Feld.
Notre Dame. What's that?
Notre Dame, Dean. Okay. This game, it's on my table right now. Look at this, y'all. I've got cards just laying around. I just played this. You ever play games against yourself, Dean?
Oh, yeah, all the time, especially to learn how to play them.
That's what I just did. I just played me versus myself and took 2 different strategies. I love when I do that because I always win. So there you go.
Do you name like
my board game? I'm just kidding. I don't put it in there.
I do Rahdo style and then name the other character.
Oh, I don't name the other character, but I could.
Oftentimes I will lose this one against myself.
So in this game, I mean, what I love about it, I mean, you have 3 cards that you pull from your hand of 9 cards. So every turn you're going to take 3 cards. And there's only 9 actions that can be done. Stefan Feld does such a good job of putting you in these like, oh, what do I do? Decisions that aren't super complex, but you're like, I want to do this, but I want to do that. I want to do this, but I want to do that. And so you're going to take one of the 3 cards and say, okay, I'm going to do this so that I can do this action. Then I'm going to pass, the other 2 cards over, right? Or yeah. And then you're going to get, your opponent's cards. And now you're going to decide which one of those that you want, And so the interesting thing is that you're only actually going to end up with 2 actions, even though you have 3 cards. But what's so hard is, that you're only going to get your deck reshuffles 3 times in the entire game. There's 9 rounds. So when you pass one of those, you're like, oh my gosh, if my opponents don't pass me that action, I might not get that action for a long time. So, wow. So that's it.
I have never done that in this game.
And then you have it's not the drafting part, but like I love the rats in this game, the rat infestation. I love to feed my workers. I love those hard decisions. I know you don't, Dean. I love the agonizing, calls of, oh man, I've got to feed these people, or I've got to watch this rat infestation, but I also want to do this. And this game's also really cool because you're like, I want to build this engine, but I also got to score points. And like, I love those games where you're having those pools of, I could build a point building engine here, or maybe I go snake these points right now in the cathedral, but oh man, I could take some more coins right now. So what am I going to do? And then the card play is just awesome there in the middle, right? Where at the end of every round, you're being able to hire an assistant, and they're all different. And so like the combinations of the way they come out is really, really good. Yes. Yeah. I love this game. Like I hadn't played it in a long time until I brought it back out. And I don't know. I just played it again and I went, oh my gosh, this game is so good. I haven't played this in a year or 2, probably. Because the last time I played it, my wife was like,
I had traded away my copy to you. And I've had some regrets, honestly. Like I didn't love it. I didn't love it at the time, but I do think I'd probably like it more now that I've let it sit. But it is a fun game.
If you really want it back, it's a cheap game. I can go. This copy's kind of old, so
it is. It's not the.
I can trade you back your old copy and get a new copy. So fine with that. Notre Dame, number 3.
It does have the expansion stuff in there, though, if I remember right.
Oh, that's true. It does. That's true.
Which the anniversary edition does as well.
Yeah, it's man, it's really good. Yeah. So, and it's not that long of a game. That's why it is ahead of Terraforming Mars. I can just get to the table a whole lot more. All right, Deanie.
Yeah.
You are ready for your number 2.
Ready.
Of all time.
Yeah. My number 2
that follows us on this one
is my number 1 game of all time that was left off of my interactive Euro list, and I'll explain why right now. Blood Rage.
When everyone was expecting you to have it on I literally was like, how is this not on your interactive Euro list?
Yeah. So let me tell you why. Hey, you know what? I bet I have some of my painted stuff on here. No, I don't.
How many times are you going to say that? You're like,
I'm just going to throw the game board up there. I'm trying to find some pictures that aren't.
I don't.
So in this game, you are drafting cards, and those cards will determine.
Dean is. I don't mean to interrupt you, Dean, but Dean.
Yes, you do.
When he had a headache, he actually passed away, and this is Robot Dean that is taken.
Oh my goodness!
I just got really morbid, really quick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I loved you so much that I revived your body with robot parts, and sometimes it glitches.
Okay. Done.
You're half man, half robot now.
Cyborg Dean still loves painted miniatures, and this game has awesome miniatures, which is why it's in my list.
Glad it's on your card drafting list for awesome miniatures.
It does have.
Go ahead.
It does have some awesome miniatures too. In this game, you are drafting cards. Imagine that, and you will be using those cards. Let me show you for a lot of different things. So, like those green ones are going to be your quest cards, which will give you points if you complete those quests. If you put them in your quest slot and then also complete them at the end of the age, you've got the different upgrade ones, which are the black cards. They can be monster upgrades. They can be clan upgrades. They can be mystic upgrades, or they could be not mystics, but what am I saying? I said clan, monster, different ones. Leader upgrades, your warrior upgrades.
I was listening to some comments. I zoned out for a minute.
But the reason why this is on my card drafting list is because it really is like a big part of the game, the drafting of this one. And the decisions in the card drafting are really difficult because you need cards to help you in battle, like the red cards, but you need quest cards to get points. But you also need to upgrade your all of your stats. You need to get monsters, like all of these things that you need to do. And it becomes such a challenge to decide which cards am I going to get that will help me to accomplish getting a lot of points. And if you watch the interactive Euro episode, Jonathan had mentioned one of our friends that had scored, I think it was 8 or 12 points in a game. You can draft horribly in this game and then also do horribly. Like you can just do really bad in this game. And that is something you need to know going into this, but it's amazing.
It is a fun game. We've talked about this one a lot of tension, a lot of player interaction, a lot of paying a lot of attention to what other players are doing on their turns, which keeps it really, really interesting. So I really like it. All right. So we've got, I've been meaning to try this. Don't everything. Yeah. I'm
with you, Nick. I'm with you on that, which is why I painted mine in such a way that makes it better, but still not great.
Yeah. I don't get this one to the table unless I'm just hanging out with my wife. Likes this one. Okay. Except for whenever I make her mad and she stomps off in the middle of the game. That has happened in this game.
Is that a problem with the game or a problem with the husband?
Yes. Oh yeah. So
I want to try this, but no.
Yeah, I have never played it. You haven't played this either, have you?
No. Jonathan really likes this game though.
Yeah, Abyss. So that's one that it did just come on BGA. That's really good that you put that in the comment. Dean, yesterday. Were you not saying? I think it was yesterday, John. We need to play Abyss on BGA, so that's a great comment, and we'll get into that.
We need to have a Meepletown BGA game night, is what we need, John. Like here in the next week or two.
Yeah, I'm usually not a huge fan of games with miniatures either, Dan. I do like Blood Rage. I like the card drafting in it and stuff like that, but I think it's my only game with miniatures on my top 50 list of all time.
Is it the stigma that if you're playing a miniature game that it's not like a strategy game? Is that what it is? Because the miniatures themselves aren't a turnoff.
No,
are they? Maybe they are.
I think it's just the stuff. Oftentimes, I mean, I think it's because oftentimes the game depth isn't as much. It is more about the presentation and all that stuff. No, you don't disagree. Like not every time. Like Blood Rage is a good example. I mean, there's plenty of.
No, I don't disagree
Project
with that
Elite
at all.
was pretty good. You know, there's Gloomhaven obviously is really good. Like that. So there's definitely ones. Yeah,
but sometimes
I do get that idea, like the stigma that like, oh well, because it's a miniature, maybe they didn't, and that could be a turnoff. I'm not saying that it's an accurate turnoff, but it can be.
I think that it sometimes that can be like the selling point. And if you look at, I mean, not to call them out because they're they put out some of my favorite games, but like, come on games. You've got a lot of people in the comments that will talk about backing the Kickstarter because they really love the miniatures. Like that's the driving force for why they want to get the game.
Yeah.
So I get that stigma for sure. And I don't think it's wrong. It is what it is, but for me, I like thematic Ameritrash games. A lot of them, I like a lot of those games.
There's a ton of people that do. Like, that's great. If you like it, you like it. I think that's great. Scythe is on my shelf over here. That's a game I like a lot. So I do have some.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Let me see here.
It's time for your number 2 and my number 1. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I get it. I get that one for sure. We're with you on that. I haven't played this game in a long time. Yeah. There's some pretty crazy looking creatures in that too. And
it's not as bad as Rising Sun as far as like the gruesomeness of those miniatures. Those monsters are really gruesome in Rising Sun.
Yeah. So here's interesting. Abyss is a top 5 game for me. So we're having like a lot of votes in on this. I'm turning my phone on to do not disturb. It's my fault for having it on. Hold up. How about this? Is this happening? Like,
yeah, let's make this happen. I would love to do that.
Schedule this for a BGA night, and then we'll play Abyss and maybe play some other stuff. And that would be awesome, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. We've just never actually done it.
Thanks for having my back, Dan. Correct.
About what?
He was just saying why I think it's like not that it has to be a turnoff, but why it automatically generates those turnoff feelings for some people. It's the same reason that, like you said, it automatically generates super excitement for other people because they just love those style of games.
Yeah.
The miniatures. So it's the same reason why Agricola or whatever, Caverna is going to turn some people off because they're going to be like, oh, that looks like a farming, boring Euro. But other people like me are going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what I want. So
it's kind of interesting when like Come On Games, they take games, Euro games, and put miniatures in them, like Council of Four. Does that make you want it less from Come On Games and would rather have the other like wooden version of it?
No, I mean I like the miniature version. I mean I like miniatures, okay, but they're not a selling point for me personally, though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That conversation, like
yeah.
Meeples and cubes and stuff like that. But I mean, when they're there and they look good, that's cool. I'm looking at Tang Garden on the shelf over there that has some miniatures that look cool and everything's standing up and all that. But it wasn't a selling point for the game. It's also not my favorite game, but it's here for a little bit. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah,
it's a good game though. All right, so now my number 2 is Dean's number 1. This list is going to be over with quickness. And someone's already mentioned this game. This is kind of, Dean, I'm going to say something. I'll let you say something. This is kind of, it's a boring answer, right? Like everyone expects this game to be on a card drafting list. It has to be, right? Now I'm going to zip it and let you say something about it before we pull it up.
It's Seven Wonders.
You sack a newer? I'm always like trying. I'm always like trying.
I just want to throw it out there, guys. This is what it is. It's Seven Wonders.
I deleted the banner. How did I delete that banner? I mean, I've got it here. I just had written on here John's number 2. This is my number 2 and Dean's number 1.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's a boring answer or the expected answer. Maybe that's what it is. But it's just a really good game. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. This was one of the first games that got me into the hobby, which is kind of unfortunate because Seven Wonders is not an easy game. I consider this Gateway Plus more than Gateway because of all the symbols and like it's a lot to take in if you're not really used to a lot of games. But it's still just so much fun. But it's simple, like pure card drafting, where you're just taking a card, playing the card. And the thing that I think is the difficult part of this game is that you're paying for the cards, but you're not actually paying resources for them. You just have to have them available. And that can be a challenge for some people. Like for me, first time I played it, I was like, wait, what? I'm not actually paying for it. I just have to have it.
You just have to have it.
It's just so good, though. I love it. With the expansions, and it's even better.
You know, Dean, it's one of those games, and Duel is just as good, probably. It's one of those games that even, like, I put it on number 2 on my list, and I'm sitting back right now, and I'm thinking, like, is this really that high? But then when I play it, I'm like, yep, that's why. Every time I start to think, is it, you know, do you have that feeling at all? Like, yeah, okay, I'm not super excited about playing Seven Wonders. I wouldn't mind playing it. Like, it's a good game. And then I play it, I'm like, this game is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just got so much going for it. You can play a lot of players in 30 minutes, you know, and get a lot of like a fulfilling experience in the game.
Yeah.
Hey, throw Clever Swine's comment up there. This was on my, I would say maybe top 10. I really like Citadels a lot. And I know that, you know, some people don't. My big issue with Citadels, I just mentioned Seven Wonders being a 30-minute game. Citadels is too long for what it is, but it's still a fun game.
I've never played it. And I was literally, like, when we were doing this list, like, I was just looking up just to try to jar my memory games that have, you know, card drafting. And I was like, gosh, why have I never played this? Like, but it's also because I've heard mixed reviews on this. But hey, Clever Swine and I, we like a lot of the same games, so you just pushed me over the edge right there. I'm gonna have to give this one a try. You think I like this one, Dean?
No.
Really?
I think you'll say the same thing that I said about it, John. It's a fine game. It is fun. Like this is a really good interactive game too. It's just it needs to be shorter. I don't know how else to say that, but it's a lot of like, you built this thing up, I'm going to tear it down, and now like scratching and clawing to get ahead and stuff like that.
My wife would hate that. Yeah. I want to try it though. Can't wait to get my hands on the new Seven Wonders version. Yeah, I
want that too.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where like it's awesome, but then I'm always like, yeah, but I could just buy a new game. So what do I want to update that and I probably will update it at some point in time. I like Seven Wonders Duel though. That's which one do you like better, Seven Wonders or Duel?
Seven Wonders I like better for sure, but Seven Wonders Duel is really good. It's one of my wife and I's favorite to play together.
Yeah, and
she doesn't like Seven Wonders, so.
So Thomas, on the other hand, says he's hadn't played Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders Duel is amazing. It's, you know, I don't own Seven Wonders Duel because my brother let me borrow it for like years, and then he just took it back, and I'm like, oh, I gotta have that one. I gotta go pay the monies for that one. Dan hasn't played Seven Wonders, but has it, right? So that Dan, it'll be good. And yeah, so here's a couple of comments on some of these games. I still have one more game to do, but these games aren't on the list. So no. Dean, would you like to comment on this?
Shelf of Shame. It's been there for years. I've had that game for a long time. No,
I've never played it either. Yeah, I haven't either. So between Two Castle, we were purely doing card drafting here because I've got some other games that if we were doing tile drafting and different things like that, I would have on this list. So
I don't love that game anyway. The Between Two Castles, it's fine. But even if I was doing just overall drafting, it wouldn't have been top 5 for sure.
All right. Well, I've never played that. I've heard that so many people really like that. I don't know why. The art is beautiful in that game. I don't know why. Is it good? Yeah. You don't know. You haven't played it. Okay. Looks
Hey,
like we've got a lot.
Draftosaurus is a fun game. That's a good. My family really enjoys playing that one.
Yeah, you really enjoyed that one, didn't you? I haven't played that one. Yeah,
Super simple drafting. Yeah.
those are good comments. Look at this. Man, we got a lot of people that's got some love for a game that we've never played, Dean.
How does it play at 2? That's my big concern because lately that's mostly what I'm getting played. Okay, that's my first question. The other one was with Inish, the thing that seemed like I wouldn't like it as much. What?
I think it's because of the weight has made me wonder if I'm going to like it. Though I really like some lighter games for sure, but that's what I think I've been like hasn't made me like go out and get it. But I'm gonna try it. I may absolutely love this game. Another one.
The back and forth.
You have to play Abyss and Inish. That's it. Is that on BGA?
No, but I have it. I own Inish.
Yeah.
I own all of those. So Cyclades, that, and Kemet. I do own all. I don't know why I've never gotten Inish played. That's one that Jonathan and them played for a while. But there's a lot of back and forth in that one, if I remember right. Like I'm building my thing up, I'm tearing your thing down. That kind of back and forth that I just said that I don't know if you'd love that in Citadels. That was my concern about this one, but
I
have
with those types of games. It's just not. There's certain people that I don't want to play those games with.
Yeah,
that's it. Like
that's true. And if you know that you're getting into that, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't mind games that are mean or whatever. Like I'm cool with it. But what I don't like is trying to play those games with people who don't like that. And so I'm like, I can't really play the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like my wife, there's some games that my wife, we're trying to play. Like I'm trying to be nice guy. And I'm like, this is just not fun because this game was built to do this, you know? Good at 2, but great at 3. There we go.
Also, I have the coffin box version of Inish. I don't know if that's like, I don't know if the new version is a better version. I'm just not sure.
Raise Arcana.
Yep. Raise Arcana.
Dan warned me about reaching back.
Is really good. I like that game a lot.
Yeah, I do too. That's one that I haven't played in a while that I was just thinking about the other day. I really need to play this. Let's see. There's a couple more comments I want to pull.
I think it's on BGA now too, actually.
Before I do my number 1, Hadar is good.
Hadar is top 10 for me for sure. It was on my list.
I think that was one of those ones that there's a kind of elegant simplicity to that game that's fun. And I remember being surprised on that one too. I wasn't super excited about it, but dude, At the Gates of Loyang.
I'm not going to make it to John's number 1. I'm okay with that. I've not played that one.
Yeah. All right, cool. So here I do my number 1. Here, my number 1's boring.
What? No, it's not.
It was on my list the last list I did.
Yeah, but it makes sense on both, I think. Go ahead.
And I really like this game, but it's not like my favorite game of all time. So I feel like I had it like number 2 on my last list, and I had it number 1 on this list, and that's Ginkgopolis. And maybe this game even I enjoy it more if I actually own this game. By the way, y'all need to, if you're interested in this, the pre-order for the new version of this is sold out a lot of places. Like I had to go, I think Card House still had some copies of the pre-order, but I think like on Miniature Mart and Cool Stuff Inc. and some of these other places, several of them, they were sold out. So if you were thinking, that's the pre-order. Hopefully those get a bunch more. But if you were thinking, hey, I really should buy this, I'm telling you, you should really go order it if you can go find it now. That was like a few, because this is coming out next month, according to what they say. So in March, y'all, we actually may have our copy of this. So people who have wanted this game for a really long time and haven't wanted to fork over the $80 or whatever people charge for this, go get the new version. So
how much is the new version?
I think I paid, it's around $50.
Okay.
I think I paid $55 with shipping and everything or something. I think it was like $45 plus $9 shipping at Card House. So looks like we got mine pre-ordered, boys. Yes. Pre-ordered as well. I had to go to Amazon. Yeah. This is, I saw that the other day and I didn't realize it was coming out this early. And when I put it on my list with Johnny the last week, I was like, hey, I wonder when that's coming out this year. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been paying attention. It's coming out next month. And then I start going, oh no, it's sold out. Pre-order here, sold out here, sold out there. And I'm like, no. Then I found one. So anyway, I'm excited. But this one, I mean, this is absolute. There's other pieces that go to this in the card drafting, but the card drafting is absolutely vital in this game. And you're going for area majority. You're playing on it. There's a lot of player interaction in this game. You're building on other people's buildings and all these things, but you got to draft those cards right because those cards build your engine. Those cards play your action. Those cards do everything in the game. There you're at. That's it, right?
Yep. Ginkopolis is a top 20 game for me, something like that. But
yeah. Oh, go ahead, Dean. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's a top 20 game for me. And I get what you're saying. Like drafting for sure is a big part of this game. But for me, it's not on my list because it's not like the thing that I like most about this game, you know?
Yeah. Dan, I'll have to say that it's been one of those that has grown on me. Is like, I remember the first time we played this, actually Steph Hodge taught us this game. Remember, Dean, whenever we were at, whenever we used to be able to go to cons, and interact with people. That was really awesome. And I remember thinking this is a good game, but I didn't love the game. And the more I've played it, Dean picked it up and stuff. And I was like, oh wow, this is really good. Yeah, but I understand it's rated, I think it's rated 7.4 for a reason. Like I can get why people may say, you know what, that's cool. You like it, but it's just not my favorite. If you don't like the area majority and all that kind of stuff, you might not like that, like this game. If you're especially,
it could be kind of mean for sure.
Especially if you tend to lean towards Euros that are kind of doing some solo play with a little bit of interaction and all those kind of things. So anyways, then you might not like Gink because Gink is a lot of heavy player interaction and all that kind of stuff. So
it definitely is. Yeah.
See, what are these cons you speak of? I know that's true, isn't it? Jeez. Dan also had put in yes to Hadaris. That's another vote for that.
You know why Hadaris is not my top 5? Let me go ahead and say this. It's because it needs more. It needs an expansion for me to be like elite level card drafting game. Even though again it would be like a top 10 game for me. Top 10 drafting game.
So Heath says that you have to memorize the cards in Inish, by the way. It's easier to hate draft. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the drafting games are that's how it was whenever I played Blood Rage for the first time. I called Dean. I'm like, dude, aren't these cards OP? You remember when I was doing that? And you're like, you just have to know they're in the deck. And if you don't know they're in the deck, you're not going to win. And if you don't know how to hate draft in Blood Rage, a lot of these card drafting games, not all, but you have to hate draft to play well. If you see them building some type of an engine, you can't just give them a card to make it even more powerful. So
I find myself liking games where everything seems overpowered. You know what I mean? I like that.
Dig it. It feels lavish, but plays well at 2. Yeah. And that's great because Andy asked, does it play well at 2? I think Gink plays well at 2.
Uh-huh.
I think it plays
better at more for sure.
But I like it at 2. And I don't know if,
I think we just played it at 3.
I don't like to play mini games at 4. Many, not many, but mini, I sometimes the turns just take too long to get back around to it. You know what I'm saying?
Bunny Kingdom's good at 4.
Here's a couple more comments, and then y'all let us know. We'll be on here for another 5 or 10 minutes here. We'll just answer. It's a free for all at this point. If you want to stay on, you want to ask us some stuff here, chat about whatever. So, what are your thoughts on Maracaibo? Love Maracaibo. Love Bruges. Like Blackout Hong Kong. Maracaibo, Blackout Hong Kong.
Lewis and Clark's good. It's just too long, probably. I actually own that, but I don't know if I'll keep it really long.
Yeah, I would say that most of those are more about deck building. I'm trying to think. I guess it depends on which one of those.
Lewis and Clark is as much card drafting as Concordia is, if you think about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault someone for putting it on their list. So I liked Lewis and Clark. I agree with you. Maybe we played that several times and it seemed like it kind of dragged a little bit at the end, but I do think it probably had to do with also maybe us just not playing optimally. Wouldn't you say, Dean?
That might be the case.
I think we were really good.
The gameplay itself is really fun. I enjoyed it. I just wish it didn't slow down at the end.
I don't know what the heaviest card drafting game I've played is.
Maybe Agricola.
So I can
actually.
I can mention Agricola whenever we did the podcast was on my list at number 5, and because it's not, and I put it at the bottom of my list because it's not constant throughout the game, but it is super important. If you don't draft your cards right in Agricola, you lose. It's my opinion. It's really tough to make up for that. So yeah, I don't know.
Technically through the ages, if you consider
there
that,
you go.
That's probably the
Ages.
The heaviest.
Yeah, I really like Through the Ages, but I got it for Christmas. Oftentimes, whenever I get games, I've played it on the app a lot, but when I get the physical copy, like I've played it, but I hadn't played it in a long time, the physical copy. Oftentimes I like, wow, I really, really love this game. But Through the Ages, I like it. I do. Gosh, that's a long game. It is so long. So it's slipping for me a little bit just because of how long it is. I know that maybe people don't like that, but it just has. So yeah, that would probably be the heaviest card drafting game that I've played. Yeah. Any other questions?
I was looking through it, and that seems to be the heaviest one I've played too.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it then. We don't have any other questions. Y'all, thanks for hanging out with us. As always, if you guys are participating super well, and we're getting a lot of folks, so we're going to do this more often. We've been talking about doing these.
We enjoy it.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing this. We've been talking about doing these things more often and hanging out with y'all. So we'll try to get like a BGA game night ready to go. And man, we've got a stack, y'all. If you follow us, we have stacks of some really exciting like games like Cloud Age and Renature and Shores of Tripoli. And what all do we have, Dean? Hallertau,
Whistle Mountain,
Maglev Metro. Like we've got stacks of these games that we just can't get together because of the snow or something else has happened. So really hate that we haven't been able to do that. Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road. So
happy birthday, Clever Swine. Sorry, I just saw that one. I had to throw that up there.
Happy birthday!
That's awesome.
Happy birthday! Yeah, this is really good. So fun break from the workday. There you go. That's what we hope. So love all y'all too. I guess that'll be it, huh?
That'll do it.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Bye. Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.